race. But if you look at the human race as a whole around the world, it is depressing what we're doing. I think
that's why I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying I'm doubting that you're saying we're the most intelligent. I'm doubting it, person.
No, there is an argument to say that we are, on the one hand, we're super intelligent and we're science clever in our science and everything. On the other hand, we are crazy.
In a sense, we are
crazy things to each other.
In a sense, we are. So, just the point you said, the problem with the religion, right? So, if you see that problem you mentioned about having children, one problem. It's one problem.
Minor problem.
But it's just not in Islam. Do you have any other problems in Islam?
I was brought up without religion, and my father used to tell me religion is for weak, and I believe that.
Christianity, you mean?
All religion.
Well, no, but can I ask a simple question, right? And would you agree with me in a rational basis? Can I say there is a fallacy in logic called the fallacy of generalization, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The fallacy of generalization entails that you look at.
There is some truth in generalization.
Sorry?
There is truth in generalization. You can generalize about people when there is truth in it.
It can be true. I agree. Like you can say, we don't have to give examples anyways. It's a simple concept, right? We can say generally all men are different than women, right? Of course, they are different than women in a sense.
That is one. You are absolutely true when you say all men are different than women. And one of the frustrating things about one thing that frustrates me now is political correctness is trying to somehow diminish the differences between men and women, and they shouldn't.
Yeah, of course, that's a topic we can come to as well. But I was coming to the generalization of religions. That's separate. This here, you cannot have a true generalization. I'll tell you why. Because that claim requires one thing. You looking actually and studying these religions and what do you have to say. If I do that, then I'm able to actually generalize the thing. Would you agree with me? If I have not read throughout the Quran, if I have not read the Christian tradition,
I've never read any of these religions.
Oh yeah. So how would you just tell me honestly? How can I generalize from something I have never read?
Well, look, if you take religion as a whole, you can.
For example, sorry to cut you. You said one thing was general about having children, and I showed you it's not general true. So I'm giving you an example.
No.
So
Human nature is very complicated. So if you take religion. There are good things to religion. But there are also terrible things about religion. So you take often in religious.
Can I just say one thing? I'm defending me personally. Yeah, maybe I haven't said, but I'm Muslim, right?
I can see.
Yeah. So I'm defending Islam. So what do you find personally with Islam? I would just with our religion, right? Because Christianity, I have a lot of problems as well. Like you, other religions, I have other problems. But with Islam specifically,
take Muslim religion.
Yeah, please.
You have one extreme to the other.
Give me an example. For what do you mean by that?
So you talk at one end, you have the sort of the more moderate forms of Islam, where people integrate into society very well. And are accepting of people's differences.
Where do you get that idea from?
Well, it's true. If you look around the country.
But would you agree with me? And I think you're a very rational person, right? Would you agree with me if I make a claim I should support it with evidences? If I make a claim, I should support it with evidences. You agree?
But also your gut feeling can tell you things. So
but I mean about things that are literature, for example. If I see something is within a specific literature.
The problem is
because I disagree kind of about the moderate. I disagree with it.
So you don't think Muslims are moderate?
I think no. I don't think there's a moderate and extreme. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Can I explain what I mean by that? I understand who you're talking about, but can I explain? When you say Muslims behaving, right? There is moderate and extreme. I agree. Behavior of Muslims. But I'm defending the idea of Islam, which I believe is perfect, right? The religion aspects of it. Individuals, I will be the first person to be with you. There's a lot of problems in Muslims. I'll be the first person with you standing in the line, right?
Okay,
so I mean the idea of Islam. That's what I'm referring to.
There's a difference. But
it's just one idea.
That's true, but the people interpret things in different ways.
Does Islam give a solution for that?
I don't know.
It does.
But let me take you to
example.
A good example of where religion has it often. If you take human sexuality, for example, which every man.
I don't know why everyone likes to talk about controversial topics.
It shouldn't be controversial.
Yeah. Sorry.
It shouldn't be controversial.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I agree, but I mean why I don't people like because I spoke the previous person maybe and the two previous people spoke about the same thing. So it's like everyone wants to.
If you take a man's sexuality.
Yes.
If he's honest with himself,
Okay.
Nobody's sexuality is as different as your fingerprint.
I don't
Your
understand.
sexuality is as different as your best friend's sexuality. Is very different to your best friend.
Do you mean because so there is a separation that is common about between sex and gender, yeah, which is they say that sex-wise there's two types, right, which male and female scientifically,
Yes.
and then general identity, which is probably maybe you're trying gender identity.
I'm
Sorry,
talking
gender
about
identity.
sexuality.
It depends what you mean by that because I don't understand.
Right.
The tendencies, their what they like and what they don't like sexually, preferences, preferences.
Full range. If you
Yeah, you can have sexual preferences. I agree. Yeah, you can have different sexual preferences.
You take. If you have one end, you have a straight man and you have a gay man.
Yeah.
Most people are somewhere in between.
I personally would disagree. As me, as a man, like you said, of course, for me at least, as you could be, I would say it is just, yeah.
But many men are.
No, but then now we make about me. I can say you all the way, like, it's not I want to disagree. I know that for sure.
You know what you are, maybe.
Yes.
I know
I want as well.
You might know what you want, but if you take, I mean, it could be something as simple as this. So you have two men, both like women, yes, and they could be two best friends.
That thing in the middle, sorry, the thing in the middle, some people refer to it as bisexual.
Somewhere in the middle.
So that's what you're referring to, right?
No, but I'm talking about a full range. So if you take,
but bisexual is in the middle, isn't it?
Well, it's sort of in the middle. Yes, no, I'm saying it's in the middle.
Yeah.
You have obviously, but if you let's just say, okay, so you've identified three sexualities: straight, middle, bi, and gay. The majority of men are somewhere at the straight end of the spectrum, but they're none of.
I think that's another generalization, right? And
No,
I think
that is true.
Okay, can you give me evidence for that?
If you think about, I mean, just it's understanding your sexuality is. A lot of men don't even understand it. If you
But that's not this.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll let you finish.
So if you go in, if you've got two best friends, they both like women.
Okay.
One of the men, one of your friends, one of you could be really dominant in bed with a woman, and the other could be the absolute opposite and want the woman to dominate him. That in itself is sexuality.
That's I'm saying that's a sexual preference, right? But I agree with.
It's still
I
a
agree.
variant on your sexuality.
I agree. There might be sexual preferences, but maybe what I'm disagreeing with, which is not making clear, it's not like there is a man who's. This is what I'm trying to say. 80% inclining to women and 20% inclined to man. That's what I meant. I mean, I disagree with that personally. Unless you want to say you put him on the bisexual kind of goal. But I'm saying if someone is straight, that's what I'm trying to say. He's 0% inclined sexually to 100% inclined sexually to women. That's what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes, but there's still a lot of things in the middle.
Yeah, okay, I understand that. People can have sexual preferences, right? And you would agree with me there's a lot of wrong sexual preferences like bestiality or incest or
what is the dividing line? The dividing line is when it's not consenting and when something isn't consenting and understanding.
Sorry? Okay, can I use your principle? If there is no consent and understanding. A brother and a sister, consenting, understanding, taking the measurements to not have no children. Is that okay? Brother and a sister,
yes,
having intercourse together,
yes,
they are using all preventions, they are consenting and they're happy with each other. Still wrong.
Is it?
Of course it is. Are you saying now that incest is okay?
I tell you why. Let me just put it another way.
Are you saying incest is okay? I'm trying to understand. Are you saying it's okay to have intercourse with your own mother? With your daughter?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is
because I'm seeing society going very bad when it comes to that. That's why I'm making this. This is a red line now, yeah. To me,
society dictates that it's wrong.
Oh, then we're talking about subjective morality. Okay, let's talk about subjective and objective morality. Do you believe morality is just a figment of the mind?
Morality
subjective meaning it depends on human mind. That is what is right or wrong.
Morality is Well, marriage it covers a whole wide range of issues, but we all.
Is it dependent on humans? Because subjectivity means subjectivity. I'll explain what I mean to clarify. Something is only wrong because an individual thinks that action is wrong. But if the individual is not there, that action is just an action. There is no wrong in it. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is,
right and wrong is dependent on you, your ideas, your understandings. This is subjective morality.
No. Human nature is much more complicated than that.
No, I'm saying what I'm trying to say is if there is no humans on planet Earth, I'm giving an example from an Islamic point of view. If there is no humans on planet Earth, right? Raping an innocent woman is still wrong.
Of course it's wrong because you're forcing yourself.
But why is it wrong? In your understanding?
In my understanding, the reason why I believe that rape is wrong when a man or a woman forces himself on somebody else, it has to be wrong.
What?
Why? Because you then got two not consenting adults.
So what?
That is wrong.
Why is it wrong? Your society told you that? What if a different society tells you it's not?
Well, you're getting.
No, I'm getting now to subjective and objective. I'll tell you. Look, if you do not have a moral code that is objective outside of your personal ideas and understandings, then it's just your personal opinion.
The moral code of the United Kingdom, or the laws of the United Kingdom.
Just only in the United Kingdom. Only in the United Kingdom.
Every country has a different moral code.
No. Have you been to? Yeah. That's agree. So I'm saying in some countries, or in some people who live in jungles and things like that, it would be okay. Can be okay for them to rape a woman. In their culture.
Yeah, they think it's right.
Yeah. So I'm okay. What is the basis that we are saying, people in the UK, that is wrong? What is the evidences that we can tell them what you're doing is wrong and what we're saying is right?
Over hundreds of years, our laws in this country have developed and changed.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say as well. Yeah.
And in this country, we are guided by our law.
How do you know now is better than it used to be?
Well, again, that is subjective because.
So that's the issue I'm trying to say. If it's subjective, right, then you cannot really say something is right or wrong. It's just depending on what you think at the time.
But one of the things is, for a society, for life to be good and society to be good in the United Kingdom, we need to all get on with each other, no matter who we.
Now you're talking about the outcome and the consequence, practicality of it. But I'm just talking about the idea, right? I'll explain what I mean, right? For example, I'll give you the alternative in the Islamic understanding, right? In Islam, we believe humans are subjective beings, right? And there are just emotions, understandings. You can have something subjectively, think about something, and it can be wrong. You can emotions for someone, and it can be wrong, right? So there is a lot of wrong things that we do because we are deficient human beings. So we need a moral command that is outside of our understanding and our ideas that are different, that we have arrogance. You don't accept my opinion, I don't accept your opinion, etc. So if we have a moral code that comes from an entity, whatever the entity is, and that code is objective.
But is it not true that really a religion is
again generalization?
Is it a generalization?
Yes.
Is it not true that religion is really politics under another name?
Not Islam. Is it politics to tell you to cut your nails, how to eat food, what is the right way to? How is it? Tell me.
Well, the politics of this country they invade your life to some degree, but in other countries, the politics of a dictatorship.
You believe in anarchy?
Do I believe in anarchy? No.
Should we have zero laws?
No, it is a good thing that society has laws.
Yeah.
Yes,
so there must be restrictions on humans. Because look, you might be a good person, right? Another person might not be a good person. You might want
bad people.
Yeah, that's it. So then we must have what we call.
Men are all hypocrites.
Thank you, I agree. So we must have what we call a law.
Were you born here?
I'm born in Austria.
And what is your background?
Egyptian and Moroccan, half and half.
Well, I was in Morocco last February. The greatest place I've ever been.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. And also Egypt is beautiful.
What?
I'm saying Egypt is beautiful, yeah?
I had not been to Egypt, but when I was in Morocco last year, I had the time of my life. And I tell you now, one of the great things about Morocco was the freedom I saw.
Oh, okay.
So,
can I say one thing on that? Another subjective term. Someone's freedom can be another person's restrictions. Right. So I don't, to me, look, as anyone can use subjective terms, right? We can disagree, you can say this, but in reality, there's still a real reality exists, right? So we need to kind of look at reality. Is there really something which is correct, something which is wrong? In reality, leaving aside human beings and their if there is, look, before human beings existed on planet Earth, there was still more things that are objectively right or wrong. Would you agree? Just like raping a woman, like I said, for example.
The animal kingdom has some rules.
No, before the animal kingdom as well.
So what was that?
I'm saying if there was no animal kingdom or humans or anything, any life on planet Earth, right? Is it still wrong, the concept of invading yourself on other people or raping a woman, stealing the money for other people, killing innocent people?
It's a very deep conversation.
Now we say as Muslims, what is wrong is always wrong. It does not matter what people here think, right? It's not our understanding. We're not the ones who decide it.
But in religion,
Islam or other religions, always when you generalize, I will tell you.
they all have peculiarities.
Look, someone who read religious scripture is an advocate of not generalizing. Why? When I read other scriptures, I saw that there is great differences between the texts. I cannot apply a general rule to everything.
For how long have you been a very religious man?
Since I was 19, 20, something like that. My family, some. It depends on the people, yeah?
Your mother and father?
These are just personal questions. I would not like to basically share them in public.
What I'm trying to say...
Some of them are, as I said, some of them are not as much as the others. And that's in every family, by the way, right? That's in every family. So I have people very close in my family that are not, for example, practicing, right? The point is this. Why did I start practicing? That's what you should ask, right? That's the question. I researched. I was born in a family, right, which is a Muslim family, right? That Muslim family gives you some religious book to read, which is called the Quran. They tell you that's from God. When I read that religious scripture, do you know what it tells me? Do not just follow what you're born in. Maybe your ancestors were not guided. Maybe they didn't know. Do not just follow as a blind follower. Research, study. So what I did, I researched Christianity, I researched Hinduism, I look at Sikhism, I look at the major religions, Buddhism, so I can know whether Islam is true as it claims to be true or not.
Why did you suddenly become so interested in all these religions?
The beginning point, the turning point you're asking, I thought about death. One day, which is what people hate to think about.
You're too young to think about death.
Not really. It depends on... Look, the mentality of a person or the wisdom of a person is not restricted to his age. That's something outside, personally, yeah? If someone thinks that, then he did not deal with enough people in his life. I thought about death, yeah? I realized, look, we're humans. We live. Are we going to live forever? No. Okay, what do I want in my life? I want to be president, yeah? Oh, it's not big, it's too big, yeah? Let's say I want to be I'm working in a company, I want to be the boss. Okay, I'm the boss, what next? I want to buy a wife, okay. I want to get a wife. I want to buy a car. I want to do this. I want to become the president. What next?
Are you happy?
Of course, 100%.
That's all that matters.
No, I disagree. Because I don't follow because I'm happy. I follow because it's the truth.
If you're happy and you respect others...
Happiness is a consequence of what I follow.
No.
That's what I believe. I'm speaking about me now.
Happiness is a state of mind.
No. Yes. Can I tell you something about the Quran, yeah? Quran never mentions happiness in this life fully. Do you know why?
Yes,
because it's temporary. You're happy for one day, you're upset for the next day. Are you happy? You've been happy all your life, every day?
My life is good.
No, every day, every single day.
Yes.
You never been upset in your life.
Well,
let's be honest with ourselves. Like it's temporary.
Very few days in my whole life.
Okay, but it's temporary. That proves temporary.
No, because if you think about it, it is the chemical balance in your mind.
So can I rape someone because I'm happy? Okay, so the right and wrong is the key point. It's not just what makes me happy. Okay, some people, you would agree with me, are pedophiles and they believe they're happy, they have an intercourse with
People can't help their behavior.
No, but they believe they're happy.
Do they?
Who told you they don't? They go, some people of them, they go, they rape. The point.
You don't know a paedophile, so you don't really.
No, we're looking at the books of psychology, the psychological disorders. What people say when they have a case with a pedophile, they discuss with him the questions and the answers he gives. What he says on himself is what he says, right? Do you think it's a problem? Some of them I ask, do you think it's a problem?
They say no problem.
They say no. Yeah.
But
So if they want,
what
yeah.
is important is you are happy here, and you respect others.
Okay, now you adding a little bit.
No,
That's
so
what,
that- I always-
yeah,
that's what- that's
yeah.
the truth.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I can restrict my happiness if my happiness tells me to do something wrong. Do you agree?
Your happiness tells you something.
Something makes me happy, but it's wrong. Should I do it or should I leave my happiness because it's wrong? That is the turning point, right? That's the turning point. You might want to do things yourself, but you're restricted by law or restricted by knowing something wrong, right?
It doesn't mean it's going to make you happy.
No, you believe it makes you happy when you do it happy. There's many things that people do.
Then you find it, and if it's not right, then you do find another way of making yourself happy.
Thank you. So you restrict that thing. That's what I'm trying to say. So in Islam, that's the whole point. Yes, happiness is okay, no problem. We're not against it. But there is restrictions when it comes to the moral code that is divine, that comes from the Creator, not from you, with evidences.
But men aren't moral.
Sorry?
Men aren't moral.
Again, another generalization. I disagree.
That's so true.
I disagree. How did you live with every human being, every man in your life to know?
But I know men. And I know
No, you
men
just
are
said
much-
all men. Men are.
Okay, but
Yeah.
90% of men are not moral.
Look, the Quran says majority of the people are not good. So I'm not disagreeing with you.
So if you
But there is moral percentage, and the Quran only asks you to be as good as you can.
if you look at
But do you just the important point I wanted to ask? Sorry, do you actually believe in a creator? Do you believe there is some entity that created the universe, not just a man sitting on a chair?
evolution.
Okay, evolution is about humans. It doesn't deal with the even Richard Dawkins says, laymen think evolution undermine God, but evolution does not undermine God.
No,
Why?
Evolution is about
Can you define evolution for me?
evolution is the creation and the movement of the.
Who defines it? Who defines evolution like that?
Well, if you
Which scientist on the planet Earth defines evolution like that?
if you take
You know, I'm willing to say I don't know anything about science if you give me that definition.
if you take
Yeah.
the coronavirus example,
Okay.
the mutations are an evolving.
Still, I define evolution as the people who actually, by the way, Darwinian evolution. Because the term evolution, you can use it, Alexander. You can use it subjectively, and you can use it specifically about Darwinian evolution.
If you take human race, we're all different colours, yes.
Okay.
We've evolved to be different colours.
Yeah, what you're saying is still within the definition. Definition, I'm saying evolution is the single cell organism that evolved, becoming humans and animals and all of that. That's fine. I'm talking about the universe now. When there was no humans, no, where's the evidence for that?
If you just think
There's no mutations and cells mutating. The whole theory is based on biology. It's a biological theory. Now we're referring to the cosmology. That's a completely different field. Physics.
evolving.
Sorry?
The universe is evolving all the time.
With the general word, not Darwinianly evolving. Evolving with the word that be changing. Yeah, that's fine. But I'm saying, where did it come from? It has a beginning. Where did the energy, matter, and space come from? Right? Who started that? No. You're saying nobody knows. We say we know.
So you think it's God?
I'll tell you, it's not what I think. You would look. Let's take a rational basis. This bike. Who made this bike requires a few things. A, this plastic requires iron, right? Requires certain things. Otherwise, he would not be able to make the bike. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. The creator of the universe also requires not to be restricted by time and space, because time and space continues started the universe. That's why we cannot understand what was before the Big Bang, because we're restricted by time and space. Two, it needs a magnificent energy to create these atoms, that each atom has a magnificent, okay. It requires also some sort of knowledge to have all of these laws and constants in the world. And it has to be independent of what it created. So something independent, not restricted by time and space, knowledgeable and powerful in a way we cannot imagine. What is that? I will let you tell me. What is that?
I don't know how we evolved, but I just,
No, not what evolve. I'm talking about the universe.
Okay,
No, you don't want to. Look, be honest with me. What is your problem with believing in a creator? Because look, I find it with people, it's not rationality. Because when we have rational arguments which are clear, no one can argue with. Yes.
I find, for the same reason you think I'm irrational, because
I don't think you're irrational. I think you are rejecting it for a reason. You have a reason.
Look, we are brought up differently. Yes. So
Not about bringing up. I didn't bring. I was born so you should believe it. I didn't say that.
Saying that
Yeah.
is you are a product of your family, your parents.
Well, I was born in a country more secular than the UK. I went to school there as well. So look, assuming, look, from a very young age, if you live in a country like this or a secular country, you come across other people of different faith and different things. You start questioning from a very young age. Is what you're upon right or wrong? Why are these people different? So don't compare me to just someone who's just. It's not a fair comparison. Yeah. Yeah. What is the difference between me being brought up in Austria and you being brought up here? Give me one difference.
I don't know. No, but okay.
There's no difference in bringing up.
No, what I'm saying is, if you have a religious background, or even a non-religious background, it's the seeds of your non-religion or your religion do come from your family.
If my argument was based on a subjective outcome of my family, you would be able to give me a rational answer to it. Any atheist I come across would also be able, which no one have, any atheist would be able also to give me answers for the questions I'm asking. Can you create something requires power without power? No. Can you create something requires knowledge without knowledge?
You're taking your belief from a book.
Sorry?
You're taking.
Did I use any verse of the Quran supporting God so far? No. I didn't use any verse of the Quran, yeah? No, I only use a rational reasoning, looking at the universe, coming to conclusion. Look, now what you're doing now, with all due respect, is ad hominem. You're attacking my person rather than dealing with the argument. You're saying subjective.
Now,
yeah.
Look, the difference between somebody that is religious and somebody who's non-religious is as different as somebody voting Conservative and somebody voting for Labour.
I disagreed. I disagreed with that.
Yes, it's true, because
it's a claim.
I'm a Conservative voter, and nobody on this earth would ever get me to change to the Labour Party. And I voted to leave.
Is that an open-minded thing to say?
No, it begins with the principles of my belief in.
Do you see how you're biased towards what you believe?
No, we all have biases.
I'm not.
Of course we do.
If you say, I'll give you a challenge, and this is a challenge to anyone who comes here, and I make this challenge repeatedly. Islam makes claims, yeah? The Quran has challenges. If you disprove a challenge, I'll leave Islam the next day. Why? I'll tell you why. That's a claim now. I'll tell you why. The Quran says, for example, if this was from other than Allah, you will find in it much contradiction. If someone brought to me a clear-cut contradiction, do you know what I'm going to say? The book says it's not from God because it says if there's a contradiction, it's not from God. Why would I believe something that it says it's not from God? Now look, now you're applying. How long have we been talking so far?
20 minutes, half an hour. Well, I can see.
Could you? No. Let me finish. You know what I'm going to say? You know someone for 30 minutes. You're judging how they perceive religion. This is what I call personally preconceived notion of individuals. Now, and this is the societal influence on you as a person. It's not me that is influenced by my family. You personally influenced with the Western society.
My lack of belief in a God comes from my early years. My politics comes from the way I lead my life and the way I.
Your society.
Society, and I believe.
I'm not taking from society. No, because I'm not taking my beliefs from society because they can be right, I can be wrong, and there is different societies, different beliefs. No, I'm taking it from divine revelation. That I have evidence as divine revelation. Okay, let me ask you this: are we restricted by the laws in the universe?
I don't know what the laws of the universe are.
Laws of physics, laws of gravity, laws of physics.
I know what the laws of the United Kingdom. Well, I don't know much about physics, but I do know.
Can you fly now?
I can't. I wish I could.
Okay, so we are restricted now, right now, fly.
I wish I could.
Okay, so we are restricted by. This is a simple thing. I don't know why people sometimes do this. It's a simple thing. We are restricted by the laws in the universe.
Your conversation is very typical of somebody who has a very strong passion for religion.
I challenge you to find someone that said the exact thing I said.
No, I've discussed many times with people.
Yes.
About their religious
generalization, ad hominem. Let's deal with the argument. Deal with the argument. You're not dealing with the argument. You're not dealing with the argument.
The passion.
Yes.
Is always similar.
Does passion necessitate that the conclusion is wrong?
I'm not saying that you...
No, I'm asking, does it?
You truly believe what you're telling me?
Me truly believing or not, does it disprove the claim? Can the claim still be true?
I suppose anything can be true.
So let's look at the claim. Why you're focused on what I think, what I believe, how I perceive? Let's focus on the claim.
One of the great things about London is our diversity, is our differences. That is one of the great things.
I agree. I love it.
About London.
It was there in Mecca. It was there in Mecca at the time of the Prophet. There was Jews. There was Christians. There was every type of. There was other religions living in society. They had their own courts to rule in their marriage issues and things like that. Throughout Islamic history, we don't have any problem with diversity.
Are you sure about that?
100%. Do you see like I'm a person who would have a problem with diversity?
No.
Look, I can disagree with something you personally agree with, but I would not impose myself on you or treat you differently because you believe that thing. No, that's not what Islam preaches. Islam preaches that we have a rational discussion, put forward our logical evidences, and then the other person uses ad hominem and generalizations.
When you see these demonstrations outside schools,
about
two recently.
About what?
One was about a teacher showing the cartoon of the Prophet Mohammed, and one was about
Charlie Hebdo
sexuality.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah. I was also asked about it. People like controversial things. Anyways,
And one was asked about the.
Can we deal with the first topic first?
Yeah, tell me about the cartoon.
Okay, sure.
Is it offensive
to Muslims?
to show a cartoon of the Prophet Muhammad? Yes.
Oh, to make a cartoon making fun of Prophet Muhammad, of course, is offensive.
Why is it offensive?
Because you're making fun of.
Okay.
If you didn't allow me to even say why. He said why, then he said okay. Like, he didn't at least say why. Look, Muslims, they love their parents, of course. Yeah, you agree?
Yes.
Okay. Humans love their parents generally. Yeah. Muslims, especially, there's an emphasis on loving your parents and being good to them. Muslims love their parents. Yeah. To us, afterlife is more important than any human being. Yeah. Therefore, we love Prophet Muhammad even more than our parents. Yeah. Now I want you to look at this. If someone makes an offensive cartoon of my father or my mother, I would be offended, of course. Now, if someone makes an offensive cartoon of someone I love more than my mother and father, who actually led me to guidance, led me to truth, led me to... Sorry?
What would you do?
In a country like this, nothing. In any country where there is a peaceful treaty with someone, Prophet Muhammad said, can I just finish this part? Prophet Muhammad said, there's types of non-believers, right? There's a combatant non-believer, a dhimmi non-believer who have protection, if you live under a Muslim state, for example, and then you have Mu'ad who you have a treaty with. Prophet Muhammad said, if you kill a non-combatant believer, right, you will not smell the fragrance of paradise. So we do not have vigilantism in Islam. So if you think someone those people who done whatever they done in France, 2 people from 5 million population in France, that doesn't represent the majority.
No, of course.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, so Islam preaches tolerance. We say, yes, we find it offensive, that's our own opinion, we're entitled to it because we love our Prophet. That doesn't mean I'm going to be a vigilante, doing this to you, or doing that to you, or doing that to you. Now that's the answer to the first question. Where's the second question?
That's a good answer.
Okay.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may will never harm me.
Okay, what is the, exactly, yeah. I very rarely get offended, yeah. I get offended with very specific things. Now, where's the second?
Nobody can offend me. I'm not offended by anything.
Okay.
Because if people want to call me names, they want to say this.
No, these things don't offend me, but there is things that I hold valuable.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Then these things, there is a limit. Like if you walk in, do you have any close relatives?
My father.
Do you love your father?
Of course.
If someone did something to him, is that going to make you angry and offended? Of course. So there is things that we hold precious that we might make us get angry when something happens. But generally, things about me personally, if you talk about my person, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Yeah. The second thing was what? What was the second question?
Because they did this. There was a similar demonstration because the school were going to teach about same-sex relationships.
Yeah. Okay. Now, if you believe personally, right, that's your religious belief. You believe that it's a sin to do same-sex relationship, right? And then we have you, for example. You're not religious. You're not following religion. You believe it's okay, right? That's your opinion. You think you should be entitled to having your opinion. Do you agree? Why then we don't say that the other individual should be entitled to have his opinion as well? Okay, if they have entitled to their opinion, they can say, I don't want my child, not your child, my child, right, to be taught a specific thing about ABC. That's his choice. He personally believes that is a bad influence for his child because of his religious traditions.
But
why should we impose now? This is the problem now. This is what I find problematic, because people preach tolerance and say the LGBT community is preaching tolerance, right? If you're preaching tolerance, then you should say, okay, I'm allowed to believe what I want. Islam gives you the freedom to believe what you want, but you should let other people also believe what they want to believe.
I agree with that. The problem
as long as we don't harm anyone, do anything to one.
That's true.
Yeah.
The problem is this.
Do you know someone went to jail for not letting his daughter attend LGBT? Do you agree with something like this? Not allowing your daughter attend a class of sexual education because you personally don't want, so you go to jail because of it?
That's wrong.
Okay, so that is what country is doing.
No.
So there should be freedom.
One of the problems, there are. I personally don't think. I think all schools should be secular. There should be no religion in any schools whatsoever.
Again, that's your opinion. So what if someone disagrees, right?
And there are religious schools in this country where whether they're Catholic or whatever, Jewish or whatever. But
or Muslim as well. There is.
Yes.
They're little. They're not much.
One of the problems
few. I mean.
is when you're growing up.
Yeah.
When you're young. Actually, this is a good example. So if you put 30 children of all different backgrounds in a room or a playground together, they will all get on.
قبلة هي هذه الناحية لو تصلي هناك هيك yeah? You just want to know the direction of prayer.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah.
So if you
take 3 children, you were saying,
if you put 30 children that have all different colours and backgrounds and male and female in a classroom, they'll all get on. Often their prejudices.
Have you been with any classes of children?
No.
You don't get along.
No.
You don't get along, but yeah.
No,
Sure.
a lot of the prejudices come from their parents.
I agree.
That is a shame.
I agree. Can I share my ideas on that? We believe as Muslims, and I'll give evidences for it, yeah? To show that Islam is not claims, it's evidences, yeah? Islam says that everyone is born believing in a creator. What is the evidence for that? Evidences for that? I'll give you. Look, before letting me speak, then it's not an open-minded thing to say you cannot give evidence for something, right? Okay, Oxford University conducted a study, 57 academics, right? On the period of 3 years, brought children from 20 different countries without any influences put on them, conducted studies with these children. It's published in Oxford University, and they realized that they have an innate, these are atheists, yeah, atheist social scientists, yeah, and they said they have an innate receptivity to the divine. Okay, number 1. Number 2, we have a book called The Gospel of the Red Man. I can give evidence from social science. I do have. Like, there's a book called The Gospel of the Red Man. It's written by a Christian, not Muslim. He went to the Native Americans, yeah, and he was writing their beliefs. They didn't have communication with influences from other societies, and they were living with themselves. They believed in an entity higher than themselves, right? Every civilization that lives throughout history believed in some sort of higher entity. Okay, so it is a part of our identity. So, for example, if you leave the children, they will still believe in a creator. That's the point I want to make. But actually making them have bad prejudices against other people, that's wrong. But Islam doesn't teach that. Islam teaches tolerance, which is I was telling you, that other people can have their faith. This life is a test. You can believe what you want in this life. You can do something. You can believe things which we believe is wrong, right? We're not going to prosecute you for it as an individual. That's why I said Jews used to live with Prophet Muhammad, Christians, even hypocrites, people acting like they're Muslims, they're not. Prophet did not go around like slaughtering these people. They were living there, right? So we are tolerant. So teaching your children what is right and wrong is okay, but teaching them to impose the right and wrong by force on other people is wrong. Would you agree with that? Would you teach your child to do good things?
Everybody should teach their children.
Yes. So there are some sort of things you need to teach.
You see, there are, one of the reasons why London is the greatest city in the world is because of its tolerance.
Disagree.
You don't think London's the greatest city in the world?
Have you been to every city in the world?
No.
How can you say that? Another generalization. So that's what I say. I say, look, there is many places that are, look, I love Austria More than London. I'll tell you why.
I've been to Oxford, it's a small place.
I don't love the people more, but I love the place. Mountains, rivers. I used to live in a place. It's very beautiful. That's the point. So it depends. It's a subjective thing to say something is the best place in the world. I love the people here. The people here are great. I love the people in London. I want to take the people in London and put them in Austria.
No, for freedom, this is the greatest city in the world, and we have so much happening here that is good.
Would you say it's freedom to put a man in jail for not allowing his child to look? Would you say it's freedom? Would you say it's free? Thank you. I agree. So there is some exceptions, and I believe it's a good country. I believe it's a great country.
So,
I wouldn't be here if it's not good.
I think one of the things that frustrates me, one of the latest things that frustrates me, is this obsession with what they call Black Lives Matter, because it's a left-wing political organisation.
Do you agree though? All lives matter, of course, including Black lives. But do you agree that there is prejudice against Black people?
But there's prejudice against white people as well.
Of course, I'm not disagreeing with that, right? But I'm saying I believe there is a groups today that are groups of Africans, Black people, that have beliefs that the white man is the devil. So I believe that's prejudice. And they believe that. They look at history, they say, oh, there was slavery, there was this, there was that. So they come to this conclusion. But do you believe, that's what I'm trying to ask, yeah? You answered a different to my question. Your answer was not an answer to my question. I said, do you believe there is prejudice against Black people? Okay. Now, if there is, and especially in America, if you look at the cases, and here, no, but I'm saying especially in America, if you look at the police and how they deal with people from an African American background, and how do we deal with other communities, it's not the same.
Very
here in the UK, they have colors. You have codes for people who look like me, codes for people who look like you, codes for this in this country.
These are very complicated issues.
Yeah. So I'm saying the whole idea is not bad to say that Black Lives Matter. They do matter, right?
No, but every life matters.
Yes, I agree, including Black lives.
But the problem is the guy that was killed in America was actually a violent criminal.
No, but it's how he was killed.
Yes, it was.
Do you agree that? You agree we should bring people to court. They should have the right to be prosecuted in court. This is a system, yeah. I cannot put my leg on someone's neck and kill him. Yeah. That is the whole reason that the backlash happened, because of the way it happened.
But there is, you see, I was brought up to believe that when I see somebody, I don't see colour. I just see somebody. If somebody respects me, I respect them. I couldn't care less.
That's what Islam says.
Okay, and
you see, you believe in religious morals.
So that's how I was brought up by my father.
Yes.
So I don't think, oh, he's black.
You don't have categories for different people.
I don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, which is the right thing.
Right. So
the Prophet said there is no difference between a black, a white, and a black.
This is probably one of the least racist countries in the world when it comes to these things, and over time things have been improving. So let's say in the 1970s things were very different than they are now.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
Now, what is frustrating is if you listen to some of these people that support Black Lives Matter, you would assume that all white people are racist, and
some of them can be extreme. I agree. Some of them can be extreme. Yeah. Some of them I've seen, they're not extreme, right? Some of them advocate for not to have prejudices against other people. So look, you mentioned a problem in society. Yeah? It comes back to the argument I was making about morality. Islam's morality is not like human morality or its deficiency. It deals with racism. It deals with poverty. It deals with crime.
So does society.
Sorry?
So does society.
Not here?
Yes, it does.
No, okay. Here, do we have knife crime? How do you see the knife crime and the
Knife crime is too high.
Okay. The theft. Step by step. The theft. Do you know you have a? How many times do you see bikes getting stolen?
No, I had 2 bikes stolen only a few months ago.
Thank you. See, this is my point. Look, when you say
Khan, who is of your faith, he is a problem.
He could be. I don't know his political views. I'm not a political person. I don't know his views.
Right.
I don't support him or go against him. I don't. If I study his life,
he's interesting.
Study his life.
I tell you why he's interesting. He is. There's a lot of things that I don't like about him, and it's not because of his religion, not because of his colour. It's everything else. So he's too soft on knife crime when we should be tough on crime. Sure. He's obsessed with political correctness. which is actually divisive.
What you're saying right now is exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that, look, Islamically, it's not dependent on his opinion, the Khan's opinion, or this person's opinion. No, it is moral laws that are perfect within themselves. So if they're applied, for example, gambling is a big reason why we have poverty in society. It's a big, huge reason why we do. People who are alcoholic, they kill people on the road. Do you know knife crime that I mentioned? Do you know how alcohol is participating in that? According to the Metropolitan Police, 2013, not my statistics, this country's police. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Islam deals with these issues, like Metropolitan Police, 2013, 2014. 60 to 70% knife crime was on a Friday night, Saturday night, people who were under influence. Why? Because they don't know what they're doing. You don't understand.
Alcohol is okay in moderation.
It's not scientifically. It's harming your kidney. Any amount of alcohol is bad for your kidney, and it is one of the main causes of cancer. And societally, it causes problems outside. Sorry, they're wrong. I don't support them. They are doing one of the major sins.
I don't drink.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm saying
I don't drink.
Remember, I said in the beginning, Islam is perfect. I don't defend Muslims. No, I'm not perfect. I'm a Muslim. I said Islam is perfect, not me. And Islam asks you to follow as much as you can.
Have you ever drunk in your life?
Never. Alhamdulillah. Yeah?
I've never had a drink in my life.
Okay. Never drink, never drugs, never these things. Never any type of smoke. Not any type.
I know many Muslims smoke marijuana.
It doesn't matter, they're wrong. They're doing things are wrong. Islam says don't.
Are they wrong?
Yes, they are. They're harming their bodies. They're harming people in society. How cannot they be wrong? God, you have this.
Marijuana is not really, unless you take it in, unless it's excessive. Marijuana is probably okay.
You know the reason why marijuana is haram in Islam? It's impermissible. Why? Because it's not the aspect of just the physical damage. It's the aspect of losing consciousness. That is what Islam is. Why? Because you make actions, you're not responsible anymore. You don't know what you're doing. You commit actions. These actions can be wrong. Why do people who have drugs go steal and go kill? Because they're not.
But that's when people when they're losing control.
Yeah.
I mean, you
okay.
could say,
so if you prevent them in the beginning, right? Prevention is better than cure. Yeah. If you prevent them.
Yes, but not everybody turns to excess.
Sorry?
Not everybody becomes excessive. I mean, we have in this country, you can use marijuana legally to treat some pain.
Okay, can I answer you with something you would agree with? Does everyone break the driving laws?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yes.
I don't disagree and agree with that. Maybe somebody doesn't break the driving laws.
Everybody speeds.
Okay. There is general laws in the country, you agree?
Yes, which we all break.
No, not every law. There are many laws we don't break. Okay, there's a law of public indecency. Have you broken that law? No, but it's there. Why is it there? Laws are put because of the general things in society. General things. Someone might do it. Laws are put generally. You're not looking at individuals. You're saying some people do not become alcoholic. We don't look at some people. We look at the general picture of society. And we give a general law based on that. That's how you prevent problems. But if I say, okay, yeah, you can prevent yourself, take. Every alcoholic in the beginning, he says, I'm a responsible drinker. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Then he has some problems in his life.
But a lot of people's problems in life are created by their...
Islam solves all of them. I'm giving you. Okay, have you read the Quran?
Never.
Would you like to read the Quran? Keep an open mind.
I'm open-minded, but
Are you open-minded enough to read the Quran?
I haven't got the patience.
I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy.
Do you know, I've never even read the Bible. I've never read anything.
I have.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but
because I'm open-minded.
No, you won't be. Let me tell you, you won't be any more open-minded than me.
Okay, so you read the Quran then?
No.
It's not that big of a book.
No, I haven't. I don't know. I suppose it doesn't really interest me reading these religious books. I read a lot actually in my bag.
Do you know why?
Why?
You have your own prejudices. You have your own. I'm telling you, I'm being honest. And you have your own inclination towards certain things. So because you're inclining towards these
I'm
things.
very opinionated.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm a control freak.
That's the problem. If you are like this, then you want to read things that fits with your own understanding. Do you agree?
Not necessarily, but so I am.
Because Islam is the idea of Islam is submission, and you.
Yes, I'm not submissive.
that's what I'm saying. So you don't. You have a problem with the Quran because it's telling you to submit, right? But a person who keeps an open mind, he looks. Is there evidence this is from God?
I'm very, very open-minded in life generally.
Yeah.
But as a business person, if I didn't have a certain disciplines and opinions, I would fail. So you have to, So
of course, we're different. Yeah.
And that's what makes the world one.
That's one of the signs of creation of God. No, we're not the same.
That's perfect. It's perfect that we're not the same.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine if creation was all just one being, one preference is one. There would be no businesses, because you're just selling one thing because people like it. So that's a sign of God putting diversity. Allah said He made us nations and tribes, so we can get to know each other. You agree with that?
But, yes.
So what? So there's parts you agree.
But it's interesting. So if somebody has a slightly different sexuality to you, you frown upon them.
Who does me?
Yes.
No. Who told you that?
Well,
have you been again? You're making a judgment. We all the time. Do you see the prejudice I'm mentioning?
I know.
You see, I've met with. Look, when you live in the West, you come across. I see it the opposite way. I'll give you an example. 2 days ago, I was in the train, and there was two gay people. They went on the train. They sat on the chair, and they started speaking about me. I'm sitting minding my business.
I hope they weren't unpleasant about
it. They were.
Well, that's wrong.
That's the point I'm trying to make. You're looking at just one side. I was just minding my business, man. I'm looking at my phone.
What did they say? It wasn't very nice.
They were saying, the Quran have these laws, I guess, and then looking at me. They keep looking at me, and they're saying, and one of them started screaming. Then the other person, he told him, no, don't do that on the train. So he didn't do it on the train. The point is this, and to me, I couldn't care less, man. I looked at my phone. I didn't even look at him. The reason being is this, right? There is people who are like this in society, and there's people who are like that in society. It's in every group. Do not generalize and think everyone looks the same. To me, I look at you personally. I look at you with empathy, that I can be in your position. What if I was in your position? Do you get the point? That's good. That's what I do. That's how Islam teaches me to do. And when I do that, I have a rational discussion with you. If I believe, for example, someone is doing something right or wrong, if you think he's doing wrong, then I will try to rationalize why I think he's wrong. Right. If it makes sense, it makes sense.
One day I was here and I was talking to a Muslim guy.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, and I think he was born here actually.
Yeah.
And he was telling me his grandmother got married when she was 11. And he was telling me if a girl is able to look after a family at 8, she's ready to be married.
If a girl is what, sorry?
If a girl is able to look after her family at 8 years old, she's ready to be married. Do you believe that?
I don't think any girl is able to look after her family when she's 8 years old. That's a hypothetical and non-existent example. In Islam, the conditions for marriage is not age. Conditions for marriage is the following. The girl is physically ready, there is no harm in her. Psychologically ready. There is no future harm that will occur in the girl. Right? That is the conditions. Why? Because ages 18 in the UK, 14 in Brazil, 13 in the Philippines.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because societies are different.
Are you allowed to have 4 wives?
That's a good question. Perfect question. Chapter 4 of the Quran, right? Verse 3, I believe, that speaks about the marriage to more than one. Do you know what it says? It says you can marry 2s, 3s, and 4s. Then you know what it says? If you cannot do justice, marry only one. Okay. It commands you, but allow me to give an answer, a complete answer to that question. Yeah. When it says marry only one, it puts a condition. Condition is justice. What is justice in Islam? I have to treat them equally in whatever I can treat them equally in.
Okay.
I cannot have.
Why doesn't it work the other way around?
Sorry?
Why doesn't it work the other way around?
Because Islam is an eternal religion. I'll answer, for example. 1,400 years ago, or let's say 300 years ago, was there a DNA test? There was no DNA test.
There's no what?
DNA test.
No, not.
Okay. So if 2 men are married to a woman and you have intercourse with her, who's the father?
I suppose you wouldn't know, would you?
I'm giving you an example, right? There is many reasons. Look, this is wisdom of the Creator. Creator knows His creation, right? Holding, fighting, this is my son, this is my son. And there was people who's doing these things. They don't even know the son.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is that not unfair on women?
Sorry?
Is that not unfair?
Because you're coming from I'll answer that question. I'll give you now an answer that I think you will be happy with, yeah? You're coming first from a position where you think there should be complete equality. And I don't agree. I believe we should be equity. We're different. Yes. So we should deal with the differences in the correct way, right? We don't get the exact same. No, I don't have maternity leave. I don't get pregnant, yeah? So we are different than women, yeah? Now let me answer. In Islam, who's more in the world? Well, even let's say in the West, because we're in the West. Who's more in the West, men or women? UK, 4 million women more. In America, I'll give you a statistic now. In America, 7.8. In Germany, 5 million. In Ghana, 10 million women more than. Now imagine this: every man marries a woman. Other women want to get married, want a family. What should they do? Give me a solution. Men go to war and die. The woman becomes a widow. She's looking for someone to look after her and her children. What should she do? Give me an answer. Give me a solution. Okay, Islam gives you the answer, right? Then also Islam gives another right. Islam says that the woman can put a condition before marrying the guy that he doesn't marry another wife. Okay. She has the right. Do you see that? So
let's go Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Saudi Arabia is not perfect. Before you say whatever you're going to say, but go ahead.
In Saudi Arabia, it's my understanding that if a woman has, let's say, breast cancer, she has to get her husband's permission to have treatment. Which to me sounds quite shocking.
I don't know about that. I personally don't know about the laws of Saudi Arabia. But if a woman is going to get harmed, right? A husband is preventing him from taking care of herself. That's not okay in Islam, because Islam tells you not to have harm, not to harm others.
I mean, if you have to have sex with that, it's not a harm. That is trying to cure you of a nasty disease. Yeah.
Look, this is permission. It's not permission just of the husband. We have a concept called mihram, which is someone who can be the child, her uncle, anyone related to her, can take her to the doctor. Doesn't even have to be the husband, right? The point is this: Islam is against harm. If she has a problem, he is not allowed to stop her from going there to treat herself, right? So Saudi Arabia is not perfect. You're talking about a law in Saudi Arabia, which is not in other countries. It's not in Egypt. It's not in Morocco. Yes. Do you know why you know about these things? I'll give you an example. Tell me good things you know about Islam. You wouldn't be able to do that. Do you know why?
There are good things.
Tell me. From the Quran, tell me.
Well, I don't know anything about the Quran.
Oh, from the Hadith. Okay, where are you going to get it from?
What I can tell you is that
a good thing in Islam, yeah?
No. Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's specific.
Do you know why I asked you the question?
But I can tell you that if you look at the community, they look after each other. Again, that's community. I want something in Islam. Does Islam tell them to do that? Do you know why? Do you know why you don't know? Can I answer you? You know the things that are controversial about Islam, right? Do you agree with me? All you asked about so far was controversial, like the marrying 4 wives, all of these things, right? Why? Because the media and the people around you in the Western society gave you a certain idea of Islam, certain idea of Muslims that you follow. Do you see now the do you see the prejudice? But you don't know good things about. I know good things about society. I know. The difference is.
Yes.
I'm asking you questions about.
I don't mind. I'm not saying don't ask me.
The other things are boring because if you think about.
If you don't know them, how do you know they're boring or not?
Well,
look, I give you a verse from the Quran that you agreed with. Like Allah created us in different nations and tribes so you can get to know each other. That's why you see the community is harmony. Because Islam teaches them to do that. Prophet Mohammed in his last ceremony said no difference between a black and a white and black. Difference is piety. That's why we don't have this racism. So it comes back to the religion. It is the seed of these fruits that you see, the beautiful fruits, yeah? So we should give it a read, just keep along in mind.
You won't.
And by the way,
I told you I have super open mind.
Yeah, of course, read them. Because or at least watch videos about Islam from Muslims speaking about the religion.
I know being a Londoner, born here.
Yeah.
I know people from all different walks of life.
Okay.
From different religious backgrounds. People with money, people with no money, people on the streets, people who live in lovely homes.
Yeah.
And I can get on with anybody and everybody.
Yeah. I can see you're a very, very accepting person. You're a very rational person.
And I believe, I think that's it's nice when everybody can get on.
Yeah.
But then again, I can have very strong views on political views. But it's more about
You would not have a problem with me because I don't deal with politics. I don't care.
But politics is important.
In a sense, it is. Yes, in a sense.
For example, in business, in particular,
Yeah.
you know,
But I see that it causes more problems than good.
there's a lot of problems in politics.
More than good.
And
More than
but you see,
That's why I dislike it personally.
when you're in business, you get sucked into things, you know, and you sort of. When it's good to stay out of politics, definitely.
Yeah.
But when you are in business,
You're forced.
You can't help but get involved
Yeah,
in
of
certain
course.
things.
Yeah, of course.
You know, Sadiq Khan, who is the mayor of London, he is a total.
You don't like him at all.
I don't like him. I find him. And the thing is.
By the way, I'll tell you something. I don't believe. I think I know this enough about him. He does not even follow the Islamic commandments, right? So I don't think he personally, and I'm not saying in everything in his life. I'm saying in majority of maybe of the things that he does personally as a person. So even Muslims do not think of Sadiq Khan as a role model or someone we look up to. If you ask any Muslim here, do you know Sadiq Khan? I tell you who's that. You know? So it's not even that we don't look at people in high political places and we look up to them. No, we look up to the people who are good in their manners, good in their behavior. This is the people we look up to, right? We don't look at political people. If you have a problem with him, you shouldn't worry that Muslims are defending him. You will not see people following him and defending him. You will not see that.
No, I mean, when we left the European, when we voted to leave the European Union on June 23rd, 2016, I voted to leave, and I'm the greatest decision this country ever made.
I disagree. As my personal opinion, I disagree because you were just saying in the beginning that diversity is one of the best things about London, right? That's number one. Number two, this country is reliant on other countries for food, for businesses. Yes. So when you break because things don't grow here, for example, fruits, food. No. It's not a possibility to have because of the weather, right?
One of the most important things is this country,
and you have to pay more for food and things. Why would I agree with that?
No, this country should trade with the whole world.
I agree they should have a power within themselves, right?
Right.
But
the European Union took that away from us. But
in what sense?
Well, for example, the Commonwealth, which has been our longest political relationship through the Crown, we had to stop. Our trade agreements were stopped when we entered the European Union.
Because they give you access as well to get anything from any country without customs, right? So they open to you. No, there is a Euro agreement. It's called the Euro agreement. This agreement is that you, for €1, you can get anything.
Very complicated.
Yeah, but I'm saying when they take something, they give an alternative.
But the reason why I was mentioning is this. The day after I voted, I came down my stairs and my neighbour was with somebody and she said to me, "Oh, you must be over pleased." I said, "Yes." The guy that she was with turned to me and called me a bigot and a racist.
He's wrong. He's wrong. I don't agree with what he's doing. Can be honest with you. If you insult a person's personally, you say something personally about him, you do ad hominem against him, you are intellectually weak. You're intellectually weak. You cannot prove your position with rational discussion, so you resort to a means of insulting.
Because I believe the opposite. Because by trading with the world, with individual traders,
it's a problem for us, but me and you are living here. Because now there's customs and foods. Foods will become more expensive, right?
We're in a transition.
Sorry?
So we're in a transition.
But we're suffering. We're suffering for the transition.
There's always.
Anyways, I don't want to go to the political idea. That's what I would say, right? I don't defend any positions or support.
My point was more than anything was the fact I was the people that like myself voted were called racists.
No, I have Muslims. I know Muslims. I can bring you Muslims, maybe from here, who voted to leave. And some Muslims did vote to leave as well.
No, of course. That's what frustrates me.
Yeah.
Because it was a big thing. All the lefties.
Don't think all Muslims or all. No, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's why we're having this nice conversation, right?
I don't think that at all.
Yeah, that's what
I'm saying is that this was a white guy.
So I didn't go and say all basically people who like these two people on the train, and everyone I see, I was like,
Yeah. This is a white guy.
Yeah.
And
okay.
No. And the worst thing is, it's the white guys or the white women that have this sort of live in a world of luxury, metropolitan left-wing who are the one, including Sadiq Khan actually, he's part of that group. They're the ones that call you racist.
Yeah.
It's like
could be, yeah.
no, there's a group of people which I call them left-leaning metropolitan. They're all white.
Yeah.
And they live in their ivory towers in Kensington, Chelsea.
Yeah. But I be honest, look, on the other group as well, I find a lot of people who are actually that description fits on. I personally do. So you personally, I don't think that description fits on you. But on other people, right, who might support the same political party you do, you would agree with me. There could people in the party can be also bad.
Yes.
So
No,
we should be balanced. That's what I'm trying to say.
True.
Also on the left side you're talking about, I'm sure there's also many good people.
No.
So I'm saying it's a balance. We should not basically. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a large section of the left that have a huge problem with the Jewish community, and I never really understand that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, anti-Semitic things. Of course.
What is your opinion of the Jewish community?
They're humans like every humans on the planet. That's it. That's my opinion. These ideas don't come to my mind. Like, it's just humans like other humans on the planet. That's it.
I agree, but I find it very frustrating. But it comes from the sort of the far left, the sort of the socialist, the communist.
Yeah.
And I think, what is your problem?
It was completely a pleasure to have a discussion with you. I have to pray, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, obviously. Unfortunately, I'll have to stop the conversation. 100%, 100%.
Dedicated.
And I'll be here, right? I usually here. If you have any questions, you want to ask. Do you want a copy of the Quran? I have one. It's free. Are you sure?
I've got my novel.
Okay. Just give it a read. Any books about Islam, something like that. Yeah. Pleasure talking to you. Thank you for your time. You too. You need to pray Asr, man. He has 2 more customers. I'm not gonna go now. We're not gonna be done today. Yeah. Maybe you'll put it again now because he's talking to them. Yeah.
Okay. You have time to pay.
There's something we can hard like between
Here is the center of discussion.
I know what you get ready now. Now you're scared. It's normal in the park.
So it's just a place for this is here. When I came the first time, people coming and putting mics on me and what's going on, man? Yeah. So it's just a something in the park. So are you guys religious in any way?
No, not at all.
But it's very interesting here because you have discussions with different people from different backgrounds, right?
This one here, this is a microphone.
I think it's microphones, yeah. Just microphones.
That's so crazy.
They could be trying to kill me or something. I don't know. I just people come and put things and they leave. That's it, you know.
I mean, there's too many cameras. And
Take money away. That's it. They want to have a discussion. Let's have a normal discussion with them. They don't want to have If you have a normal discussion, not them recording.
yeah, but they don't want to get filmed.
No, I'll give them the mics back. I'll give them the mics back. Don't worry. Don't worry. We want you to, I personally want to have a discussion. I don't care about the cameras. They have to follow. Yeah.
That's why we're going here.
So,
If you come here more often, you have
Okay, brother and sister, Jazak Allah Khair. Please subscribe, comment, and don't forget us in dua, inshallah, this Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and accept all your dua and give to you all the reward. Assalamu alaikum. Jazak Allah Khair.
Very so good.